bientôt les EPI sur leur mesa en arrivant. C'est magnifique. Je veux savoir pour les balles. Celui-ci vaut.
Alrighty. Some of you guys are here earlier than others, and I appreciate you for showing up. Alright. So, I'm going to start this breakdown right away. Our weekly has no top wick, right? We have no top wick on the previous 2 weekly candles, and we're starting to drive up. We came down, we grabbed orders at this previous support, made a new lower high, and continued to push up. When we look at our daily candles are looking a little suspect here. I don't know why this daily looks like this. Just go to the 4 hour. So basically our entire day we spent it running up to the upside. We came down, we closed below the most recent level. This was yesterday, this is today. This is Asian London session. In the morning. Last night's Asian. Came back, retested, broke the low, grabbed liquidity, and came back to fake out back in range. What up, Don Julio? How are you doing, bro? So we grabbed liquidity to come back into range. That's tough. What do we know about gap fills? Every time price hits these areas, we usually get a similar move to what happened here, and that has not happened yet. You just keep faking out, bouncing. We closed below, we drove a couple few hundred pips, and then rejected right back up into range. So is that to say that we're going to come up to grab orders for the weekly top wick that we don't have? Right? So there's a very high probability of us coming back up to grab orders at the weekly top wick. At the weekly top wick, right? But what just happened? If that were the case, I would assume we would be closing above this level. But we failed, and we money printed right off this level. Usually the money printer indicates a fill of one of these no bottom wick candles. Meaning I'm going to have a sell stop on the break of the low here. I'm going to keep my sell stop. guys, I need a steeper daily bottom wick. I think we should be able to make a lower high, a higher low before continuing up, rejecting off this previous 4-hour level. We should be able to get at least this move down. Let me turn the multi-stream on. I can't see what the Twitch side's saying. Hey, Doc, I appreciate you for subscribing, my brother. I gotta activate my top 1 futures account. Breached 2, past this one. Two trading days. These are the trades. Bam, 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 bam. 9-second trade, 9-second trade, 9-second trade, 9-second trade, 8-second trade. I wouldn't be able to pass the 10-second rule by tick scalping like this. This is what's not permissible, what they don't allow. They don't allow you to tick scalp. They look 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. I'll activate it next week. Yeah, I'm looking to probably go break even by here. And then this would be my full target. Yeah, if we re-break the daily high, which is these levels here, that's gone. No way that's real. There's this trading dude that I follow, and look at what he just posted. Bro. That looks AI as fuck. And we're in. This idea is really based off the hourly, rejecting this area, grabbing orders from these highs, coming back down to grab orders at these 4-hour levels where we have no bottom wicks at, no bottom wicks. So we should be able to come down and start to fill at least this range here, giving us a break-even entry, and then we can maybe secure some partials here. Look, here's Janez explaining why multiple streams of income is helping him become a more profitable trader. A lot of people say if you're a profitable trader and you're making a lot of money, why do you sell courses or stream or have discount codes? My brother, you never know. You're trading, you're actively working for your income. You're trading your time for income, right? These other things are generally passive and require a lot less work and have very similar rewards. So if you're making $1 million a year trading, why would you not make another $1 million streaming on YouTube? It just doesn't make any sense. Do you only need 1 million? Or could you do it 2? I'm pretty sure you would rather have 2 than 1. And even if you're making $1 million a year trading, and you're only making $250,000 off your other streams of income, well, multiple streams of income, each one bringing you $250,000. Really, it adds up. Like, for example, if you start a YouTube channel and you start putting your content out there and your content starts to blow up and it starts to get traction, and then eventually you quit trading and you just quit everything, your YouTube revenue will continue to be passive in the background, people researching your stuff in the future. Um, it's just like that. I'll give you a good example. When the whole trader's domain thing happened, you would say, "Oh, you're a trader. You got all this. You got a $1 million account. Why do you need to sell courses or stream on YouTube or sell signals?" Well, trader's domain shut down and robbed Mr. Wix9 of $1 million. And he was in the loop. I mean, he was in limbo waiting to see, are these motherfuckers gonna pay me back or are they gonna jack my shit forever? And you're like, oh, well, luckily Wix has multiple streams of income and he didn't need to withdraw that money and he was able to survive perfectly fine. But if you racked up your account to $1 million and you're like, all right, cool, now it's time to withdraw so that I can start spending some money and live, and then they block you from withdrawing and they take your money, if you don't have any other source of income, you just lost your entire account. I don't know, God forbid you get sick, you break an arm, you break a leg, you're hospitalized for a couple of weeks. You know, you get COVID or something crazy like that. And you can't trade for a couple weeks or for a week or for a few days even, and you're missing out on income. If you're using that income to pay your bills and you don't trade, you cannot pay your bills. That's why I like having a brick and mortar business. At the same time, I hate working so much. And every time that I say to myself, "Oh, once I start making this much trading, I'm gonna quit." But then the more that I think about it, I'm like, "Damn, then that's gonna make trading like an actual job instead of me doing it because I love it." So if it becomes an actual job and my bills become reliant on it, will I do as good as when I am not under stress? I'm not using the money for any bills. It's basically fun money or investing money. You know, are you gonna trade better when you have way less stress? When you're saying, okay, cool, this 10K that I'm gonna withdraw, I don't have to pay my bills with the 10K. I can go do whatever I want with it. Versus saying, shit, I need to make 10K this month to pay my bills. Whereas, ah, shit, I made 10K this month. Damn, that pays all my bills. What's an easier mentality? Ending the month and saying, damn, I made 20K this month. Or saying, damn, I need to make 20K this month. I'm gonna sell, my brother. Right here is the profit thingy. I don't know how to move it. Maybe I can move it to the other side. Like Jonas was saying, so when Jonas was first starting out in Devious, he was a garbage man. And he would wake up at 5 in the morning every day and he would go pick up people's trash. Humble job, made good money. And he was able to save up for a live account. He saved up for a live account, and then within, I don't know, maybe like a year of him becoming profitable, he was able to transition from full-time to part-time. And then see, look, this is a year into being profitable. He's only transitioning from full-time to part-time. And then I believe like 2 years in of like streaming full-time and trading more, he was able to quit his job and do streaming and trading full-time. So this is how it worked. Once trading was paying for half of his bills and the other half was his job, he only needed half that income to fully quit and focus fully on trading, which was the Discord and the YouTube revenue. You're like, oh, why do you need to sell if you're already making money trading? Well, he's making money trading, but not enough to sustain his life. And then because of the fact that YouTube was able to help pay his bills along with trading so that he could quit and full-time send this shit, bro, my dog Jonas has had the most profitable run in the longest time, and he's got a massive account now. And when he says 1%, you're not looking at like a couple $100, you're looking at $1,000. And he's like 5% in a day type shit on a really good day. So it's the way to scale, bro. You gotta have less stress. And if you have a goal to make a certain amount at the end of the month, that's the worst thing you can do in trading. I'll give you an example. Let's say you take a loss, a $200 loss. Your next trade, you're gonna be saying, okay, how can I make the $200 back? And then subconsciously, you're gonna be looking at, where's a good target for $200? And then you start looking at your $200 targets and you start ignoring all the levels prior to that. And then all those levels prior are very, very important levels that you're now ignoring because you're like, nah, I don't want to take profit at 20 pips. I want to take profit at 100 pips because that's where my 200 is. So I'm just going to ignore this level and not take any profit there, and I'll just go break even and wait. You see what I'm saying? So having a goal, shit, I lost 200, I gotta make 200 now. Your goal is 200. You're gonna start looking for that $200 TP from your entry. So yes, this is a normal entry, but then you're gonna start looking for a TP that you normally don't take because you want to make that extra money on that trade instead of slowly grinding it back. If you trade 1-to-1, for me, in my opinion, that's one of the most difficult things to do. You have a little bit easier way of managing, of not being so emotional because your target is a 1-to-1. But like when you have dynamic TPs and you don't trade positive R, like my win rate is 90% for a reason. Because of the way that I trade, my stop losses are larger than normal. It's not a 1-to-1. Which means that I need to win more so that I can remain profitable. So if in one trade I lose like 300 to 400 pips, I need to make more than 300 to 400 pips within the first 9 trades. I'm going to be doing a lot of back testing this weekend. I might run a live session on Saturday, depending on how I feel. Because I'm going to be doing some shit. I got to paint my kitchen. Can't believe I didn't notice the VWAP wasn't on there. So yeah, I I'm adjusting it as I'm going. The one thing that I changed it way before Wix changed it. So when Wix was taking multiple pineapple entries like at every level, I've been stopped doing that a long time ago. I started so like let's say he gives himself like a 2 to 300 pip range. They say he gives himself like a 200 pip range, right? Within that 200 pip, he would be spamming a lot of pineapples, 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 pineapples. And I wouldn't be able to hold the drawdown. So, using the same stops, I'm like, okay, what's the probability of price coming back to my first entry? If I took a sell here and I took a loss, and then later on, eventually, price came back down to my entry, that tells me that, okay, cool. I can hold the drawdown 170 pips, take my second pineapple at the top here, knowing there's a high probability price is going to come down to my first entry. I can now hold this trade for longer profit than I was intending. So if my target was like 20 pips or 30 pips here, before going break even, here my target is going to be like 50 pips or 60 pips. So then here I might close full at 60 pips to 100 pips depending on how fast the market is moving. But if I would have took a sell here, look how far I could have held with the pineapple all the way up here. So my stops are still very similar, but where I take my pineapples are different. And also, I'm trying to hold longer. Because of the 5-minute rule on this account, I have to hold my trades for longer. Um and basically that's been helping me, get a little bit more balls to hold longer because a lot of the time my trade will instantly go into profit and I'll be closing the trade. Whereas with this, I can't close it immediately. I have to let it rock, and by letting it rock, the trade goes 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 pips in profit. My largest trade on this account was 200 pips because I let it rock for the 5 minutes. So Wix and Don is who I learned from, and Wix is who I'm continually learning from. I'm not learning from Don anymore. Um, and if he does something different where he's changing his stops, then obviously we have to take that into account and say, he's giving himself this much range before he identifies his trade is wrong. And I have to start saying, okay, what did he do to identify that? And then I have to implement that for myself. But yeah, man, it's very important to adjust. For example, like the loss that I took today, I took a short here, here, and then here. And then once we got to here, it pulled back up and it stopped me out. Where ideally, the best stop was once you broke this high here. So there was no reason for me to take these pineapples here or here with the way price was driving. Here was the best pineapple. And then that would have... I actually did go break even and I didn't close. So I was a little bit of an asshole here because my entry was right here. This wick put me 20 pips in profit and I didn't close anything. Why isn't the new hourly showing up on here? There we go. It just gapped up. What's going on with Forex here? And we just gapped up here. No bueno. How are you, Hank? This is the VWAP. I think these stops are pretty decent. Guess we got faked out there. Maybe, not yet. No, I don't have my own server. I like to be in Wix's. We gotta stay under this for me to consider a pineapple. Yeah, Wix's entries are a little bit weird. I don't understand quite fully because I'm not in the inner circle. And I don't watch streams as much. I come in to moderate chat. I don't really listen too much to the breakdowns. I listen to the breakdowns, but I don't listen too much to the trading part. I come in to do my job and moderate. But for example, on his funded account, he didn't take any pineapples, and on his live account, he did take a pineapple and then closed break even or minus 7 pips on his live account, but then kept holding on the funded account. So I don't know. managing risk a lot more aggressively. And if the trade doesn't run, when within the first like few minutes, all right, it's time to get the fuck out. Yeah, try not to be influenced. That shit gets to me a lot. All right, I'm gonna take a pineapple here. And I'm moving my stop loss up here. Murad Latif. I appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you, dog. Thank you, my brother in Christ. Yeah, that happens to me a lot, to be honest. I won't even lie to you. Where I'm watching stream and I'm thinking of a trade, and then Wix is like, ah, I wouldn't think of this trade if I were you. Or he'll be like, oh, I don't really like this because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, damn, I was looking at a trade. And then I stop myself, and then it plays out. And he goes, you see, it played out, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. And I'm like, yeah, that's because with my analysis, I knew it was going to happen then. With your analysis, you don't see what I'm seeing, the way that I'm seeing it. So we're looking at it from two different perspectives. So of course you're gonna see, oh, it probably won't drive down, but maybe it is gonna drive down for more liquidity before coming up. So maybe that's what I'm attempting before the next continuation up. So it's like I'm like it messes with my analysis, and I'm like, damn, why did I just or like for example, I'm looking for sells and then he'll go or maybe we'll close below and we'll start driving down here. In that case, I'm going to be looking for this, this, and this. And all he said was maybe we'll close below. But in my mind, I'm like, ah, he said we're going to close below. I'm going to hold this trade that I'm in drawdown in. Type shit like that. Like it gets to me. And I'm like, all right, I got to just hop off. And then when I'm at a, if I'm in drawdown and I'm at a level where I know that I'm not going to pineapple and I know that there's no entry for pineapple, I just got to literally sit on my hands and wait. I'll hop back on stream when I'm in the trade and I'll talk some shit and then I'll hop back and forth. But if I'm in a trade or I'm about to take a trade or I'm analyzing a trade, I'm not on stream. I can't have noise. Nice. I put on stream earlier. But Wix, the last one Wix gave me, the one Austin from ASFX gave me, and the one he gave me now, I failed those two, and I passed the one which recently gave me. And it kind of sucks because I was only like $300 away from passing those two evals, and I tilted on them. I was copy trading them, and then on the last day, I was like, I only need 40 pips. So I went in with over leverage, like a 3 lot, and said, okay, bet I only need like 11 pips. And then it went into drawdown 100 pips. My trade on stream went into profit, like 80 pips. But since I was in on a 3 lot, it went negative 100 pips. That was 3,000, and it breached the account. So I'm like, oh, I only need 10 pips, bro. Dude. I'm closing right here. Yeah, I got 52 pips on that. Sorry, 46 pips. Yeah, 45. Yeah, same thing as. No, I don't know. Wait, I'm tripping. Let me scroll back to on stream real quick, and I'll tell you exactly how much I made. I got 21.2 pips. I miscalculated because I changed my lot size. We'll use the bathroom real quick. Okay. Generally, I would scalp this, right? And take another rebreak of the low right now. But I need to wait for a higher time frame closure below this level, and I'm going to wait. So I'm going to wait for this to happen, and if that happens, we're Gucci. So just like over here, how we broke below all these levels here, and when we broke below, we formed beautiful structure. We broke below, we came back up, we faked out, and we formed the perfect sell setup. We could have taken a sell at the rebreak of these lows to fill the wick down. That's the same thing that I'm looking for when we to get down below these levels. With how bullish gold drove up today, it could mimic that same move at the 9 o'clock open. But what I have been noticing is Asian market open usually mimics the uh, market open at 6 o'clock. So the fact that we've been dumping, we can just get a continuation for the rest of the night. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, we need, in order for us to come up to the top wick areas to grab a top wick for the weekly, because we don't have a top wick, we need to bounce off of support because we just rejected off of a resistance. So what support are we going to be bouncing off of? So we have support here. We have support here. I'll mark up this whole range here. Right? So look at how we're eating shit here. This is the support from the past. So if we can get below this, and even this is a 60 pip range. I mean, we can take advantage of this range of a closure below here. But it's tough. Look at all the buy level here, buy level here. I would rather wait for price to dump past these levels and give us actual confirmation. You know, maybe like a closure below like that or something. And then we can wick fill here for 58 pips. I'd feel more comfortable with that. Yeah, this 15 just closed respecting. Yeah, suck my nuts. We can wait. Beautiful. So let's take a look at what happened here on the drawdown, right? Generally, with the DVS entry, you were looking at a stop loss on this previous hourly high, with the celery play to the downside to fill this wick, go break even. That's generally the DVS entry. The entry would have been on the fill on the flip of this hourly here, which is what we took. We were off by a little bit. We got to like right there. Actually, no, I had a sell stop instead of the flip of the hourly. But the flip of the hourly would have been the celery play. That actually would have been not bad. I gave 28 pips instantly. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, maybe I would have been able to close. Time to enrolar otro. Ya tú sabes. I gotta add the win from the other stream and the break even from last night, and then this win. So that makes it 119 wins. Yeah, I was going to grab one of my books. My girlfriend's going to a business conference. It's like an annual business conference for like licensed estheticians and shit. She's gonna be gone for the weekend. So I'm gonna go to the beach, set up my little chair, and I'm gonna start reading my book with some nice earphones. I read my book. I don't know what book I'm gonna take yet. Nice. I wouldn't be able to capitalize on that. That rebreak hasn't even been 10 seconds and it's already back at break even. I wouldn't even be able to capitalize on that on the futures account. The thing with that is that we respected on the 15. I don't want to get faked out. Outwitting the Devil. I'm gonna go to Barnes and Nobles and see if they have that book in stock. I wanted to read like either a psychology book or take my Bible. Maybe I'll do both and do like an hour of each or like half an hour of each. I gotta take some caffeine with me. I found a fire beach too that's a little bit more private and it's huge, so I can literally go and be like maybe like 100 yards from somebody. Still see them, but I'll be 100 yards. At 30 is wild. Are you from Bonita Beach? Do you feel Bonita? Oh, how far are you from Bonita Beach? Let's see. Never heard of it. Bonita Beach. Ah, Gulf of America! I'm 2 hours away. Holy crap, what would the route to there be? I would have to take the long route. That's why. You're directly diagonal from me, like on the map, or sorry, horizontal from me, like literally straight line this way, but there is just straight up dump in the middle. So I have to go down this way and then back up. Instead of going straight across, it would take me maybe an hour to go straight across. Generally, you would be about an hour away because that's about the same distance as Miami is. But I have to go all the way around. What you know about Doc's Beach House? Oh, fire. My grandparents live about 30 minutes from there, too. Nice. The Gulf of America has nicer water. It's a little bit more blue. Water just kind of chills there. And that only happens on our side every once in a while. I would say like 70% of the time the water is like a little darker green, like a little darker blue, but then sometimes it gets like really, 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 really blue. I don't know nothing about Doc's Beach House. Look, bro, I'm a Floridian, but I've only been to my town, Orlando, and Miami. I don't really go anywhere else. I go to the best places in Florida, and I call it a day. Oh, but if you drive down Palm Beach, the houses are insane. You can go down Palm Beach and see 100, $200 million houses. And then you can start looking at how much people paid for these houses. Like one time I was driving down and I looked up an address and the guy bought the house for like 16 or for like $6 million. He renovated it. It went up to like $16 million, and then now it's worth like $60 million. Same owner is up $50 million on his house that he bought in the year 2000. He's up 15 million. I'm like, oh yeah, he definitely refinanced in the middle of COVID and bought a shit ton of properties. He probably refinanced in COVID and then tripled his wealth or quadrupled his wealth. Now the houses here in Palm Beach are built, bro. No matter how many hurricanes we get, the worst that'll happen is your roof will fly off if you got an old piece of shit roof. I didn't miss the real estate move. I capitalized. That's the thing. My house. Let's draw up a chart. Zero. What the fuck? Alright, fuck it. I thought I had the computer skills to do this real quickly, but obviously I don't. My house in 2020 was worth $70,000, bro. You're gonna tell me any one of you with a decent job can't afford to buy a $70,000 house? Bro, I'll buy 3 of them right now. Now it's worth almost 300,000. So you're like, how the fuck? It goes, your house values are like this, and then out of nowhere they start going like this, then they're like this, and now they're all the way up here. People in my age group were old enough to buy it here, old enough to buy it here, and in the workforce old enough to make a decision saying, hey, if I work hard enough, I can buy a house somewhere on this uptrend here. So we just had a closure. Closure belosure on the 30. We're not creating a top wick. If we can come back up and retest VWAP for the top wick, I'll reattempt to sell on the break of the low. Fort Myers used to be so trash. It's crazy how much has changed. I would have never expected it. My uncle was a manager at a J.C. Penney up there, and then everybody was leaving because there was no work. A lot of cheap houses, and then they realized no work. Oh, cheap houses. I'll sell my house down here. I'll move the equity into the house up there. I'll save up a little bit of money, and then I'll find a job up there. Majority of people did not find jobs. Like my uncle, J.C. Penney's ended up laying him off because they're like, we just don't have business to have multiple managers. And then he found another job at another J.C. Penney. Same thing, not enough business to have multiple managers. And then after moving 3 times, he said, "All right, I gotta get the fuck out of here." And then he moved down to West Palm, and that's when my cousins came down. But I used to go up there to Fort Myers, Cape Coral. Some friends of mine, Alex and Anthony, live up there. I haven't talked to them in a while, but they still live up there. Yeah, I remember their house used to be just pure woods in the back, and they would just have wood parties. That would be the thing. Somebody would bring their truck into the middle of the woods, and they would bring speakers and lights, and they would just party in the woods. But now there's actual shit going on there. Look, bro, I came back to work for my uncle in 2020, and my house is only 6 miles away from the warehouse, from our office. 6 miles. If you're on 95, that's a 6 minute drive. If you're in the city, maybe that's a 12-minute drive. Now, it's a 30-minute drive. I got to my house at 6:15 and I left the warehouse at 5:45. That's 30 minutes to get home, to drive 6 minutes, to drive 6 miles. Nice. Yeah, no, I don't know what I will go do in Naples. Next place I'm gonna go visit, holy shit, this thing is dumping. See if we can get that closure below. Very good. That's the thing, like to go party, I got everything locally. If I'm gonna go, like when I like to go to Orlando, Orlando's got, Orlando is literally, I don't know, I would love to live there if there wasn't so much traffic. I think that's like one of the best places to live. Every time that I go, there's always something to do, always something open, always something different to do. Like when I'm bored and I need to do something here and I don't want to do the regular shit, I start to look up online to see what is there to do. I can't find shit. But you go to Orlando and you type in the map and you put in things to do, you're gonna see like 90 million trillion things to do. Small theme parks, big theme parks. W Eddie, gotta sleep at 4:30. I'm here in the UAE. Thanks. Have a good night, my brother. Thank you for showing up to stream at 4:30 in the morning. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's dedication, dog. That's dedication. Well, just build the range, my range, all the way from the Netherlands. Netherlands, my brother. I'm gonna spark one for you from the Netherlands. I'll be in Orlando sometimes this year to get my GC's license. Hit up Market Mechanic. Every time I go to Orlando, I meet up with him. You gotta be careful here. This is where we could reverse that. I want to get that closure below. Let's see. This is getting interesting. This could be interesting if we start to pump up with a top wick first on the next 15 after closing below. I could attempt a top wick entry. Second. Yo, DDR nice. D nice. I appreciate you, my brother. Ooh. On the Twitch. Bro, I'm on kick too, dog. Oh. Merdad Latif. I appreciate you for following me too, brother. It didn't make a noise earlier. Maybe I was gone when it happened. 15-minute close. We closed doji and we kind of pulled back a little bit. What's the 5-minute look like? The 5-minute is looking lower lows, lower. We respected this level, but if we come up, create a top work here and then flip, that would be very clean. In order to break this level that broke us past this range, we really need a closure. We could only take a trade to that level. But with enough momentum, if we bounce off of here and then flip on the 15 here, we have almost 30 pips before we refill the range and we can go break even, because if it does re-break the low, that's gone. This is where everyone is. everyone's in a little bit of a different spot. You can go wherever you like. The YouTube side is a little bit delayed compared to the Twitch side and the other side, and Kick. But you can chat wherever you'd like. I can see all of them. It would be dope if you guys can see all the community chats from the other sides. Come at the smoke. What's your name on YouTube? I'm gonna show you guys a video that I made today. It's hilarious.
I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in his face too. I don't let my plug walk. Skirt. Pull up in his face.
It's hilarious. Hank. Big dog. Hank in the building. Clean push on that re-break. My brother in Christ. Let's see what we do here. Gotta get some new computer chairs. That shit look ratchet as fuck. Plug walk. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in a space coupe. I don't let my plug walk. I can play much cooler music on Twitch, but alright, because this didn't set up how I wanted it to, and it's already starting to flip without tapping the area that I needed it to tap, I can't take this entry. I'm going to have to wait for this hourly closure, so that's another 10 minutes of sitting on my hands. This sell stop looks very beautiful, but I needed my wick to be off that area, and that would be 30 pip on the flip. We might see something like this happen, right? We come back, we fake out an attempt, and then we break. This is probably what we're gonna see on the lower time frame. Well, this is where my first entry was, right here. So there's a high probability we come back to retest this area. I don't know why the YouTube has such a delay. That thing is whack. These filters are trash. The darker the better, fuck it. Yeah, it's 20 seconds, bro. It looks like a beautiful 1-minute structure, but I can't take anything 10 minutes before this hourly closure. Fuck. I would be in there like swimwear. If it was a futures account, I would be scalping that move for sure. But I'm really looking for the big move, bro. If we can get the 1 hour closure with the bottom wick, if we can get this sort of thing happening here, I can take a re-break to start coming down and fill this range, bro. We have 50 pips here and 100 pips to the bottom. You don't use DXY graphs as an indicator? Should I be? I don't even know how to switch pairs here. I don't even know. I would have to go on TradingView. Looked like the money printer played out. We grabbed the top wick. It looks like we're just going to continue down here on the dollar if we don't respect this level. Maybe we grab more orders here before continuing up. If not, the dollar has another decent dump here. So dollar dumping, but the dollar is at a strong level of support on the weekly. On the daily, the dollar dumped down, respecting these lows. We might grab liquidity before coming back up, which means bullish on gold, but we're also bearish today on gold. So that's why I don't like to look at it. She gives me a headache. Fuck that. Starts giving me mixed ideas. Have a good night, brother. Take it easy. Get home safely. Or if you are home, stay home safely. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Monday can't come any sooner. Yeah, Hank, if you wanted to grow your Discord, bro, you gotta start streaming, dog. And one person joins, they tell a friend, who tells a friend, who tells a friend, especially if you're providing value. So I don't have a Discord. The value is here on the streams, and your views are the value for me. I ain't even monetized. I've been denied like 4 times. But it's all good though. It's all good. I'll monetize this joint. One thing that I took sells here, fucking up and not understanding that bro Trump news. Bad for the US, good for gold. Of course we're gonna get a fucking pump. 15 minutes before I woke up, the news came out. Like, come on. That was an easy buy, understanding the Trump scenario, or at least stronger risk mitigation on the sells. That's why Don took some sells and got into drawdown. Because the same idea, the Trump panic, and then during Asian is the Trump sell-off. So that's why I'm targeting my initial entry here, because there's still a very, very high probability we come down there. So I'm looking for like rebreaks of the daily low type shit on this hourly closure. One minute. One minute. Do we have news tomorrow? Core PCE. This could be what gets us to that weekly top wick area. We're respecting here. Yeah, we're starting to close below on the smaller time frame. Let's see how this hourly opens up. Let's hope it comes up with a top wick first and then flips bearish. Alright, I'm gonna have a sell stop. How many pips here? If we tap here, I'll move it to the hourly. But if we don't tap, I'll keep it at the daily low. Alright, I'm gonna move it here. Oh. How the fuck? Dumbass. This fucking app is confusing the shit out of me. There we go. Alright, I'm in there. No, Bushi, I fucked it up. I confused myself moving it up and down because I clicked on it to change the stop loss and to adjust it. And then it added a new order, and then it confused the fuck out of me. So I moved it thinking I had my stop loss I had it at the daily break of the low when I didn't, and I just confused the fuck out of myself, bro. Luckily, I moved it back into the correct spot. I'm not looking to go break even until we break the daily low. Did everything I wanted. If we re-break that daily high, I'm not interested in the wick fill for another 100 pips. That was a wild candle. Wild back and forth. Holy shit. Bing, bong, boom. Nothing I can do about that. That candle should have been the other way. We're breaking the daily low. For this kind of volume, I can't take any pineapples. I gotta wait. We should respect these highs here if it's gonna drive down. We shouldn't break them. Yeah, of course that was unexpected. Who else is in there? Hmm. Are we gonna fake out here on the VWAP or are we gonna pivot? If this hit stops, that would be it for the night. That'd be 2 trades for the night. That's enough. Yeah, if we start closing above here, it's gone. Cleanly above. How many pips here? I have a sell stop here as a pineapple. Same stops. Nope. We're activated. I got a fucking 5-minute rule. If it does dump down before that, I'll probably close all the positions. I'll probably close all the positions and then take the breach. And then they'll take my profit away for that one, but the other one will be break even. Now we just sit on our hands and wait. What would be beautiful? No, yeah, actually, what we can do right now, this is the most important thing. Understand that we did everything possible, and we are going to draw our alien. Not looking good, to be honest. It's looking like quite the stop loss there. We would need an insane plot twist. Yeah, it's just ripping. Five-minute just close. What did it close? Just above everything? Yeah, it just closed bullish above everything. Back into the daily top range wick. Yeah, it's gone. It would need an insane plot twist here. Once that daily re-breaks the high, that's it. We pivoted off the VWAP. Yeah, that's it. GG's. Mr. Alien, you failed us today. I'll wait it out to the 30-minute closure. But yeah, that's it. I'm not taking any more trades tonight. And there she goes. GG's. Let me update the wow, it's gonna dump now after taking us out. You better flip bullish and keep breaking the highs, you fucking pussy. Yeah, one of those.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, I actually pineappled and I used the wrong contract. So I'm using a 3 micros, and when I pineappled, I used 5, and I was like, oh shit, I'm using the wrong one. So it's gonna just mess up my numbers. So I closed that at a small loss for like minus like 30 pips. So it was minus like $100, whatever. And then I ended up using 5 micros. So it would have been 1 micro lower than like 6. And then right when we were about to hit stops, I was like, let me just move this up like 10 pips because I have a strong feeling it's gonna like try to break the highs and then come back down. Moved it up 10 pips, did break, pineappled right there, and then just came straight down. And then I closed when I was in profit, so I'm technically up 7 pips on the night.
Nice. What I could have done differently, what I normally do is normally my stops, my hard stops are much higher, and these are my actual stops. For the same exact reason, bro. I just didn't think of it. For the same exact reason, pops up 13 pips and then comes back down. Well, what can I do? This bounces off here, keeps driving up. I don't think I would see any profit either way, unless I would have pineappled up here. Then I would have seen 61 on that one and negative 30 on this one and break even on this one. Maybe it would have been 30 pips in profit, closing right here. Damn.
Yeah, I think if I would have used the correct contracts on that first pineapple, I think I still would have pineappled right before my stops got hit. Because I've noticed sometimes where my stop is, if I pineapple right before it's about to like tap my stop, like it gets very close, I'll just pineapple. I notice it'll just wick like a few pips or like whatever, um, and then it'll just start going back and then moving towards my break even point. Like I don't know, I've noticed that a lot recently. And just like the way this was pushing, it was one of those things where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move this up like 10, 15 pips, and then I'm gonna pineapple right before or when it gets very close to my stops. And see if it works out. And I've noticed it so many times when it drives like this.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. Well, 20 seconds, and that's it for me. I can't take any more trades for the night. What a Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. Three pineapples deep. Nice. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Thank you for watching me take an L and then go back in profit after wicking me out. Usually that's how the L's are on the stream. Like 99% of the time, that's how they are. What can you do? On to the next one. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Have a good night, options. Set a 5-minute timer.